I'm not depending on punch power, you know. You know what, it takes a lot more than that to be a great fighter. A lot more than that to be a great fighter, so there's various ways I'll win. But I got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down with my spirit.
But he can't though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not even equipped to fight this dude. He's not. It's going to have to be a bunch of stuff in there. Joshua will punish this man.
For somebody like Anthony Joshua, who is so big and so strong, to even think he's going to take it easy, because even if he tries to take it easy, he's so powerful, so strong that even those punches that are being easy are still going to.
At the press conference, Anthony Joshua told Jake Paul that he is being unrealistic if he thinks he can win. Joshua said he is mostly doing the fight for the money, seeing it as a business move, and emphasized that in the ring, he is still the much stronger and more skilled fighter.
I deliver what I was supposed to deliver years ago. I deliver what they ran from. I deliver what he asked for $50 million for. I'm gonna give him a $50 million knockout.
I honestly listen to what people say sometimes. They're avoided, this person's running. I honestly think some people are deluded. Really, I do think that they've got some sort of a long-term concussion, because no one's running. In terms of 50 million, I'm a businessman. If there was 50 million on the table.
Chris Algieri points out that this fight gives Anthony Joshua an ideal chance to get back in the ring. After being inactive since his last loss, Joshua can use this match to rebuild confidence and get back into the rhythm of competition. The fight also offers a big payday with minimal risk, almost like a controlled sparring session. Algieri emphasizes that Joshua gains financially, mentally, and physically, making this fight a smart move for his comeback.
What are we talking here? Like, it's going to be an exhibition? No, it's a fight. You're a heavyweight. You're calling out heavyweights. You're calling out a heavyweight. You're calling out Anthony Joshua, former world champion. You're calling him out on short notice. It's a fight. You're going to wear 10-ounce gloves and you're going to fight 10 rounds, and that's what it is. I don't understand any idea of anything else. Oh, it's going to be 8-2s? Is it going to be 15-ounce gloves? What the hell are we doing? This is boxing. You want to fight a real guy? You're fighting a real guy, which I am very respectful, and I respect the hell out of Jake Paul if he does step in the ring with Anthony Joshua. No matter what happens, kid's got balls of steel, and I applaud you.
Well, the reason I say we don't know yet, because Jake Paul has fought in his last fight with Gervonta Davis was going to be an exhibition. They had to do that because of the weight difference. This is still a weight difference here. I mean, Anthony
No, there's not. No, it's not. It's heavyweight. It's the same weight class.
Well, what do you consider Jake Paul? Cruiserweight or heavyweight?
Heavyweight. How much did he weigh his last fight?
He's fought at cruiserweight. He's also fought at heavyweight. Against Tyson was at heavyweight. What
was his last fight? He's a cruiser. He's a heavyweight.
What was his last fight? His last fight was at cruiser against Chavez. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like the reason Gervonta Davis fight.
He fought Chavez after Tyson. I guess Tyson was that long ago. Wow.
That was a year ago. This week, I was looking at my Instagram memories. I was in Dallas, Texas, getting ready for me pooping my pants on Netflix. That was about a year ago. Exhibition. These are questions that are asked. These are questions that are.
Eddie Hearn says that Anthony Joshua is definitely interested in facing Jake Paul, but they need to be careful because Paul can be unpredictable. Jake has a history of confirming fights and then canceling or delaying them at the last minute, which makes planning tough. Joshua's team is staying ready for any sudden changes while continuing to train and prepare. Hearn points out that if Paul is serious about the fight, it could be a huge financial opportunity for Joshua, possibly one of the biggest of his career. At the same time, he stresses the need to balance excitement with caution, so Joshua can make the most of the fight without unnecessary problems. Hearn's view shows that readiness and patience are key, as dealing with Jake Paul's unpredictability requires careful planning to protect Joshua's career and maximize the rewards.
To a surprise for many, how close are we to making that fight, Eddie?
Not that close. I mean, there are conversations. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. But if he's serious about the fight, and if it can get made, there's a very good chance we'll do it.
Is it on Netflix, and what did DAZN have to say of the fact that it made
one of the hurdles to overcome? But we were going to have an 8-round run out in December. Just so happens it might be against Jake Paul.
Have you spoke to Nikisa? I know you're not friends with him. What are the conversations you've had?
That's who we're talking about, you know. And if they're serious and if it's real, there's a good chance. But listen, we could wake up tomorrow and he's announced another opponent and he just used AJ's name for clout. Listen, I have to respect him if he takes the fight. But who knows?
What do you think Dana White will make of this fight?
I mean, he did Mayweather against McGregor. He doesn't like Jake Paul. I really couldn't care less what he thinks about the fight. AJ's going to make close to or around a career high payday, and we'll take every...
Paulie Mulgy points out that Anthony Joshua will take the fight very seriously, even if it is officially called an exhibition. He notes that Joshua has never underestimated any opponent in his career, and in the ring, he will bring full focus, power, and skill. Mulgy highlights that Joshua's discipline, timing, and ring intelligence let him exploit openings and punish mistakes effectively. Ryan Garcia agrees, adding that even if Joshua eases his intensity, his natural strength and accuracy still make his punches dangerous. Both analysts emphasize that Jake Paul faces a real physical threat, and the fight should not be taken lightly, no matter how it is promoted. They stress that Joshua's experience against top heavyweights allows him to control pace, distance, and momentum. Analysts agree that Paul must show both strategy and resilience, as Joshua's skill and power create a high-risk fight where any lapse could be costly. Overall, the discussion confirms that this bout requires full respect and preparation from both fighters.
Olympic '84 team starring Jamie Foxx and Chris Algieri.
I'm not starring in anything, but whatever. Yeah, no, I got a credit. I'm in it. I got some lines. So
That's amazing. That is so cool. I mean, this couldn't get any cooler. You're now in the movie, which is absolutely absurd.
yeah,
What a day.
hopefully,
What a life.
Hopefully, maybe there'll be more of this. Who knows? Who knows?
I think it's just the beginning. I think this podcast is numbered. Our days are numbered.
No way.
This
I'm
guy's going Hollywood.
I'm never letting this go, Dan. This is. I'm a ride or die.
I hope you get so big and become such a big actor that you are like delaying production because you have to film our podcast in your trailer.
Chris is in his trailer. Wait, he's got to finish his podcast with Dan.
They're like, who's Dan? Johnny Drama style.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, just
When he was
total,
on the set
total
for 5
diva.
pounds.
Just total diva in every way possible.
Yes. Like we said, this episode is brought to you by ppv.com. December 6th, we're going to see Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. And guess what? We're going to talk to Lamont Roach on this episode. I caught up with Lamont and to get his thoughts on the fight with Pitbull, to get his thoughts on Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, which we're going to get to in a second, to get his thoughts on 140, potentially fighting at 135. That's coming up in just a little bit with Lamont Roach. Don't forget to order that fight with us at ppv.com and all the good stuff that comes along with that. That's December 6th. Lamont Roach is an awesome interview. Great guy.
Awesome guy. Forget the interview. He's just a good dude. I told you to tell him what's up. You probably did.
He said what's up. He goes, where is he? I said, he's on a movie set. He goes, oh yeah, he's got those movie star looks.
See, that's what I get. But yeah, no, he's a good dude. We see him. He trains down in Florida now. He's over at the Pro Box TV training facility, so we get to see him down there training. He's whipping on all the guys over there. But good people, good dude. Good. His dad's awesome. His brother Jordan's great. He's another one to look out for. I think he's a flyweight? I think he's a flyweight coming up, or a bantamweight. But yeah, great family, good boxing family, great boxing heritage.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that mega card. Big card December 6th, and he's the headliner. So we're going to get to him in a second. Some big news broke. Shocking news. According to Ring Magazine, Anthony Joshua is going to step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul. We don't know yet if it's an exhibition. We don't know yet the rules set. We don't know the date. These are preliminary talks that are ongoing. Yes, I work for MVP.
Dave Allen argues against the idea that Anthony Joshua should avoid fighting Jake Paul just because the matchup seems unusual or entertaining. He points out that Joshua is still in peak condition, and unlike retired fighters, he has the speed, power, and skill needed to dominate in the ring. Allen notes that fans often underestimate these fights, seeing them as mere spectacles, but Joshua's athleticism and experience make him a serious threat. The commentary stresses that this fight is more than just showmanship. Joshua's preparation and skill allow him to control the fight against any opponent. Allen also highlights the gap between perception and reality, warning that casual observers may misjudge the risks Jake Paul faces. The matchup demands respect, focus, and recognition of Joshua's elite boxing abilities, no matter the hype.
A very kind of easy commission. Yeah, it'll be called an exhibition.
It will be an exhibition.
It probably will be called an exhibition.
What's the point?
For me, as long as that fight you mentioned just now, Spencer, as long as that roadmap is there and it's signed, that he fights an interim guy as a warm-up afterwards and fights Tyson Fury next year, and Fury's on board, I'm great with it. Otherwise, I do think his legacy's damaged if his last fight is with Jake Paul.
An exhibition is a waste of time. They're for retired fighters. For retired fighters, it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, listen, the guy's still in his athletic prime. I personally don't see the reason why they can't just do the Tyson Fury fight. Why do we need interims?
Well, we all want that.
Yeah, but why do we need interims? Why do we need warm-ups? We're talking about two experienced guys who've been the best, as you just said, of the last 10, 20 years. Let's get the fight on.
It's as ridiculous as Gervonta Davis going in with him, basically, isn't it, with Jake Paul,
Quite
frankly?
different mindsets. And what, again, listening to Eddie today and what he was saying, the damage that Anthony Joshua suffered mentally, not physically, because physically he's still all there, but mentally against Daniel Dubois, he needs to go through that process again. And they said, and that's just the whole getting your hands wrapped up, doing it, whether it's Jake Paul, whether it's a top 100 fighter, you go, that's the way Anthony Joshua ticks. He needs that before going into the... All roads lead to Fury, right? We all know that.
Analysts point out that Jake Paul is now facing a fighter who is closer to his level in terms of active competition, unlike the older or retired opponents he has faced before. While this makes the fight more exciting for fans, it also raises the physical risk for Paul. Commentators emphasize that health and safety are serious concerns because Joshua's skill, power, and experience are far beyond anything Paul has dealt with. The matchup may be competitive, but it carries significant potential for physical consequences.
Bigger than the Mike Tyson fight? It's hard to say really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless because Joshua is a big name and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signs to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, you know. So it would be huge, but nothing to tell you it's close, just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big, fat African head. Big, thick neck, traps, back. He just can't really be hit. And look what Joshua did to Ngannou. Out cold. So what do you think Joshua is going to do to Jake Paul? Jake Paul better start loading up on that Trenbolone. He needs to start eating Anavar.
Analysts highlight that Anthony Joshua's background as an Olympic gold medalist and former heavyweight champion makes him a highly serious opponent, regardless of the fight circumstances. They point out that his mix of skill, power, and experience is unmatched compared to anyone Jake Paul has faced before. Joshua's ability to read opponents, adapt his strategy during the fight, and deliver precise, punishing punches means that even small mistakes by Paul could be quickly and severely exploited.
Unified champion at the heavyweight division. He is 6'6", 250 pounds. And also, I do think...
Oh, my God.
I do. God, Jake Paul 6'1", about 220. I want to say this, though. I think Anthony Joshua, he's made stupid money in his career. Dumb money in his career. I don't think he's going to be in a position to be accepting BS terms with Jake Paul if this is really what's going to end up happening. I think we're actually going to get to see Jake Paul against a former heavyweight champion of the world. Do I think that's a smart idea? Absolutely not. For Jake Paul, do I think it would sell? Absolutely. Do I think it'd be very interesting and people would tune in to see if he gets his head knocked off? Absolutely. I genuinely hate...
Experts point out that this fight is far from casual. It requires full focus, thorough preparation, and respect for Joshua's abilities. Analysts highlight Joshua's physical advantages, his reach, strength, and conditioning, which allow him to control the pace and distance of the fight. While Paul is confident, Stepping into the ring with a former world champion carries serious risks if he underestimates him. Commentary notes that Joshua's experience against top heavyweights has sharpened his timing, defense, and ring intelligence, enabling him to dominate even against unconventional opponents. Overall, the discussion makes it clear that this fight is a real test of Paul's skills, and Joshua's elite level ensures it will be competitive and strategically demanding.
Alexander Usyk, who's now the undisputed, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time now after beating all these guys. He was a smaller guy. Went up, he's like 6'2", 6'3", about 200 pounds at first. Now he's probably sitting at about 220, 230. Similar size to Jake Paul. Yeah. Went up and beat all these guys. Granted, Usyk, greatest amateur boxer at that weight class ever. I think it's going to be interesting, but I do think Jake Paul is in a good position.
The only fear is this.
I hate to give him credit.
If Jake Paul gets his block knocked off completely.
Yeah, very possible.
The Jake Paul experiment is over. It's a wrap. Because if you step into the ring, everybody thus far is wondering and has wondered, like, what would happen versus a legitimate boxer?
Yeah.
And in their relative shape. Not a 50-year-old Floyd.
Yeah.
Not a 60-year-old Mike. We've all asked ourselves, well, what happens if you fight a real fighter? The problem is, once you fight a real fighter and you get beat down, the hypothesis is gone. So now we don't need to wait to see the experiment. Y'all know what we do every year. We say the best college team could beat the worst NFL team.
Yeah,
and it's nasty. A fun debate.
Yeah.
Because if you don't really know ball, if you don't really know ball though, you'll be like, man, but if 10 players on Georgia would start for the Cleveland Browns right now. But if they actually...
Ad Oladipo points out that this fight is one of the biggest in recent times, attracting huge attention from both fans and the media. He highlights that Anthony Joshua's reputation as a former heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist adds credibility and excitement, making the matchup highly anticipated worldwide. Fans are eager for action-packed moments and the possibility of a knockout, which raises the intensity and spectacle of the fight. Oladipo notes that Joshua's skill, experience, and power make him a serious opponent, ensuring the fight is treated with respect rather than just as entertainment. The combination of Joshua's status and Paul's popularity generates massive interest, turning the bout into a major topic across boxing circles and mainstream audiences. The anticipation, coverage, and fan discussions emphasize just how significant this clash is.
Paul, a much bigger fight than fighting Gervonta Davis, and I mean bigger not just in the sense of who he's fighting and the size of AJ, I mean bigger in terms of numbers. Like Jake Paul versus AJ does way bigger numbers for me than Gervonta versus AJ. I think this actually does bigger numbers than Terence Crawford versus Canelo. I really do. I think this is, again, if it makes money, it makes sense. Let's talk about the negativity. And look, I get it. Like, if you're like me, I still believe, and look, some might say, well, AJ's just going to pick up, who knows what the numbers are, 80, 100 million, right? And then continue on his trajectory or career to potentially become a world champion again. I don't like this pause, if this is just me. I still believe that AJ can do damage in the heavyweight division. I believe that. Again, some people are like, no, he's done. Okay, cool. I believe that AJ can do damage again. I look at the heavyweight division and I remove Alexander Usyk from it and I'm like, AJ can beat a lot of those guys. So I like the idea of AJ staying busy and having real fights against real heavyweights. So I'm not a fan of this pause, especially considering that we've not seen AJ in the ring since September 2024. It's a long time. It's a long time. So if AJ has this fight, we're not going to see AJ in the ring properly until the spring. It's a long time. If AJ was busy, and then had this fight in between, I guess I wouldn't be too mad with it. I get it, right? If someone knocks on your door and says, do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million? You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be.
All right, everyone. Keep following us for the latest boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Glove Lords and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Don't forget to check out our other videos as well. Until next time, stay safe and take care.